Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm addressing another question. I get lots of questions. Sometimes I get emails, sometimes I get comments with the questions that people want to know about me, and I don't mind answering. Why not? You know, I'm working on being more authentic and more honest because I figure, you know what, I make lots of mistakes. I might as well share them on the channel because I want to be real and authentic. So the big question was, could I afford to live on my own? I recently did a video, and I'll see if I can link it at the end of this video, about what would I do if my husband passed, because I think we can agree none of us know what tomorrow will bring, right? So what would I do if something happened? Could I afford to live on my own? The answer is, so far I think I could, but this is what I would do. Number one, any decision I make, because I tend to kind of be impulsive and make fast decisions, which are not always good, I'd want to slow down and just take my time to make any decision at all. That's number one. Number two, I would keep working. I do the demos, the scheduling, and YouTube. You guys are stuck with me. Sorry to tell you, but you are. And I would do that. I would readjust my budget, because if something happened where I passed, my husband would be spending less, right? You're going to spend less if there's less people in the house. That's kind of a given. And so I would readjust and reassess the budget and see, you know, what does it cost me to live here? Then I would create a new budget, because I wouldn't want to make any rush decisions. Now, there's two decisions I'd have to make, and I don't think one of them I spoke about on the other video. The other one I didn't speak about, and it's something I've actually thought about, because there's pros and cons of every decision you make, okay? And, you know, we talk about budget, and there's so many people that have so many different points of view, but one thing people have to think about is it depends on so many factors. Where do you live? That's one of the big factors. What are your skills? That's another factor. What is your health? That's another factor. You know, there's all different kind of factors that you have to take into place when making any kind of financial decision, okay? Like, some people are like, no, it's better to own a home. No, it's better to rent. Well, it depends on a lot of factors. Like, for example, owning a home. Well, number one, what are your taxes? What are your insurances where you live? And would it be cheaper to own or rent where you live? And do you know how to do yard work? That would save money. Can you do some of your own home repairs? That would save money, okay? So you have to look at all of those, kind of get out what I call, do a brain dump. Get a piece of paper and write down pros and cons and do your research and juggle some numbers, okay? The biggest decision that I would have to do that on, and I've actually already done this, is would I drive? Because people think, well, Dawn, if you got rid of your car and you decided not to drive, you're going to spend a lot more money taking Ubers. Well, I did some research on that, and with the current insurance rates, and because I work really close to home, I would actually spend a little bit less Ubering, as long as I didn't Uber all over and I just stuck to pretty much Ubering to and from work, getting a couple little rides here or there, and I had groceries delivered. I wouldn't have to go that many places. My friends take me places if I really need to go somewhere, and that's when I go shopping with my friend once a week. So if I need anything, I could do that, and like I said, get deliveries. So I'd have to decide, am I going to drive and keep the car and the expense of the car, or am I going to sell the car, get the money, and any money that I would have spent on car insurance, which is over $200 a month, and gas, would I put that towards Ubers? It would be about the same cost because of where I currently live, because cars are really expensive in Dallas and insurance is really expensive in Dallas, okay? But it depends where you live. So I'd have to decide, would I drive? Now, the next thing I wouldn't do is get a roommate. I mentioned that, but this is the thing I've actually thought about. If something were to ever happen to my husband, like I said, we never know. You know what? I'm just grateful to be here. I think I shared this on one of my videos. I have a 93-year-old friend that used to do mystery shopping for me, and she said she wakes up in the morning, she looks in the mirror, and she says, hey, good looking, guess what? You're still here. And now, you know what? I'm still here currently, so which I'm grateful. But what would I wouldn't get a roommate. That is not something I would do. But one thing I've actually thought about, and I'll end with telling you this, and some of you might say, no, it would be more costly. I thought about selling or downsizing, getting rid of most of the stuff in my house, and then actually moving to a little senior apartment. I don't know, it might be more expensive, but with the cost of home ownership now, it might be about the same. like I said, with every decision we make, with every financial decision we make especially, there's pros and cons, and it's going to depend on so many factors, and it's not a one size fits all. That's why a lot of times we can't make these decisions fast, and then when we share all these things with everybody, we get everybody's opinion on us. So it takes time to slow down, do our research, write down pros and cons, juggle some numbers, and kind of figure out what would be the best fit for you. So yes, I could afford to live by myself. Do I think I want to stay in this house if something happened? Actually, part of me thinks I would love to move to a senior apartment. You know, be social, like I said, downsize a lot of the stuff, and just have very minimal things. I think I'd really enjoy that. Tell me what you guys think about that, though. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I appreciate you guys. I'd love to get your feedback on this video. I always love your comments and appreciate you. That's all I have to say. Love you, and I hope to see you on tomorrow's video. Bye, everybody.